Hey guys, it's Steve from the Tech Buzz, and as you guys have watched, I had a really cool video on the unboxing of the legendsgamer. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be getting it this week, and me and two other guys had the opportunity to have it for almost a month now, and we've had the opportunity to play with it. But instead of me giving you my views, I had some folks play it and give their opinion over the last month of how it performs and how it works. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it behaves and plays like the Legends Ultimate. I have it hooked up wireless, which is intended, and I was using it via OTG because the main feature that these folks are focused on is the new pinball feature. That's what they really wanted to try because of the side buttons. And I think you may be surprised at their opinions, even being hardwired with OTG.
So what we wanted to do is we wanted to take a look at real-world experience with gamer. I'm here with Allie, and she comes here, plays games. She doesn't own all this stuff and doesn't really get into nitty-gritty. So Allie had a chance to play all these 4 tables from atgames. They're independent games, and it works with the gamer. The gamer's got the buttons on the side, so she, obviously she likes playing pinball. So Allie, out of all the games, which one do you think seemed to play the best, and what were some of your critiques on it?
So the Skittles board, I noticed that the flippers work a lot better than most of the other boards on here. I did notice that there was some lag with the flippers and stuff, so it was a little bit aggravating. I think it was Invader, where it was just really laggy, and I wasn't able to hit the flippers and make sure I got the ball and stuff. But other than that, I enjoyed it.
I think Leprechaun was probably like a good balance. Like, you had some lag in it, but okay. So let's talk about the control. What do you think of the plunger being the joystick? Is that better than a button, do you think? Or, I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I liked the joystick being the plunger because it just feels like you're literally just pulling a plunger back and releasing the ball. It feels a little bit more realistic, like pinball.
So if they released more independent tables like this, you wouldn't care if it wasn't like a Back to the Future or one of the major titles from some of the major components out there. These are fun.
These are fun.
Yeah.
They're fun, they're different.
So there you have it, guys. I mean, this is a great way for people to check it out, and this is a real world experience for those of you guys that are purists out there. Look it, you can play some of these great games. They're free, so if you get the gamer, it's free. So check it out. So we're having a bunch of people try this. So we've got KRISTY here. You tried the different tables. What were your top tables on this?
I would say my top tables were, my favorite was the Leprechaun. That one was a fun game. The second favorite would probably be, I liked Invaders, and I would say the other two, like Skittles and Texas Hold'em, it seemed like they were a little slow, like behind when I was hitting the
flippers.
The flippers. They were a little slow. That's kind of what drew me away from them a little bit, but for the most part, all the games look fun. I like the graphics. The graphics are sharp. It kind of takes you back a little bit. When you play them, you get those nostalgia moments. But out of all of them, I'd say Leprechaun was my favorite.
Now, you did make a comment, I believe it was about Skittles, where you didn't like the table because it seemed to be, like, leaned back too far.
I would say, like, I wasn't sure whether I liked it or didn't like it. It was very different. I thought it was kind of cool how it was angled different, but at the same time, it's totally different than what I'm used to when I play pinball, so I'd have to play it a few more times probably to get used to it, but,
Now, comparison to, like, say, another product, like we have the Toy Shock, right? We have that pinball over there, the real, well, not a real table, but a real digital table.
Yeah.
Comparison from this to that, is there a noticeable difference between the lag on this, even though this is wireless? It's wireless internet, and it's going to a server?
I would say there is a little bit of a difference with lag time. I noticed when I played that, I played the Haunted House, and I noticed the flippers seem to be a lot more in sync with the buttons, whereas on here there was just a little bit more lag time, and a couple times I was hitting the flippers pretty hard, and the ball just, it didn't really do what it was supposed to do, but then it could have been players there too. But I did notice there was more lag time with the wireless than with the haunted house.
So anything else that you noticed with this, if you thought, could be changed, or if you like the way it's done? I mean, even the joystick. Allie said she liked the joystick, being able to pull it back. Do you think that's better than doing the button? Do you have more control over the plunger?
I felt like I had more control with the plunger by pulling the stick back. I mean, the plunger on the table where the haunted house game is, it's pretty cool too because it's more traditional, like the spring plunger. But so I kind of felt a relation with that with the joystick over here, where it felt like you were actually pulling the plunger back and releasing. So I like that feature a lot.
Okay, there you have it, KRISTY. Thank you. So we're here with ERIN, and so I'm going through a bunch of the different people here that are playing these games. We do like a game night all the time, and you heard from KRISTY, you heard from Allie, and so now my wife ERIN here was playing this, and you like playing the pinball over there, and you weren't sure what to expect with this, but you liked the fact that it had the pinball buttons on the side. Out of the 4 games here, we've got Invader, Leprechaun, Skittles, and Texas Poker. What was your favorite?
I say by far it was Leprechaun. Only because I felt like it had the best reaction time as far as the flippers go, and as far as the graphics go, where it felt the most realistic, like a pinball machine.
So out of all of them, which one did you not like, and why didn't you like it?
I'll say the Invaders I liked the least for the fact that the reaction time was a bit slower. There was a bit of a delay in it as compared to the other 3.
Okay. And which one would you say was kind of middle of the row, where it wasn't bad, but it was playable, but it also wasn't really good?
I would say both the Skittles and the Texas Poker, they kind of tie as far as middle of the road. Like it's better reaction time, I think, than Invaders, but it's definitely not up to the level of the Leprechaun.
So if you could say something at games, if you said, putting more tables, obviously these are free tables, independent developers are making these, they don't cost anybody anything. Would you like to see more tables like this added as free add-ons or from independent developers, or do you need to have ones that are like Star Wars and Addams Family and different things? And they're great, don't get me wrong. I'm just curious, what's your thought?
I think as far as the free ones go, I think these are great. If you're looking for just something fun to do at a party or just something to hang out with your friends, these are great options. If you are more of a gamer and you really like Star Wars or different things like that and specific things, I think those should also be available. But I think if you have a mix of both, I think it would make everyone happy.
Cool. And like we were saying here earlier, we're going to give some other folks a chance here. But we were saying earlier that this is playing on a server, so it's not playing localized here. And I have it connected with the USB cable in the back of it to go to the actual hub over there. So, we're trying to minimize the latency, but we're also doing it over Wi-Fi, and that's how most of you guys are going to be using it. So, all right, let's get on with the next person. So we're here with Dakota, and I wanted him to try it as well, try the pinball here on the Legends Gamer. And so out of the 4, we had Invader, Leprechaun King, Skittles, and Texas. Which one was your favorite? Leprechaun King. What did you like the most about that one?
The controls didn't lag. The ball was moving like I felt it should, and there's a nice contrast on the table.
Okay, so which one did you like the least?
The Invader, and it
Invader.
wasn't even close.
Which one would you say was probably like middle of the row? Like it was not great, but it wasn't the worst, but it was playable.
Well, Skittles, probably.
Skittles?
But the ball floated a little bit on that one.
No, Texas Hold'em, I noticed watching it. It floated certain times, but it didn't float a lot.
It wasn't too noticeable.
But as far as the flippers go, did you think the flippers were pretty decent on a lot of them? Or, I mean, because watching you, I seen the ball floated, but it looked like you were hitting it, and it seemed to be on target.
Yeah, I'd say for everyone but the Invader, they were pretty close.
Okay.
If not, actually, I think all of the other 3 were right on with it.
So if you could play more independent titles like this, would you be cool with that if they put more on here? I mean, does it bother you that they're independent?
No, as long as they're playable.
Okay.
Because I mean, all the pinball machines that I've played, I haven't really been like this specific one that was this. It was more about, I guess, the features within the pinball.
So how did you like the the joystick as the plunger instead of hitting like the buttons? Did you feel like you had more control, less control? Would you rather have a button just to hit for the plunger, or did you like that you could pull the stick back and do it?
It was neat having the joystick. I mean, I just pulled it all the way back. I wasn't trying to get a certain percent power. I was just trying to shoot out to the table.
No,
I'm not
fine.
really that skilled or anything.
What's your, if you had a complaint about this, if there is a complaint, is there a complaint about anything so far? I mean, you played a couple of games. You played Golden Tee on here.
Yeah.
So what was your thought on Golden Tee on this?
I think it rolled pretty good, but the Golden Tee ball on the actual cabinets seemed like it was a little bit heavier. This rolls really smooth. It just has a lighter feel to it.
So it feels, yeah, it does kind of have that feel. So, all right, so at Games, there's some feedback for you guys from real people who do not have arcades like this in their house and don't have these products. First time you played this, right? I mean, you played Golden Tee last week, but today's the first time I had you go through all the games like everybody else. So there you go, from real people. And stay tuned for my thoughts after all this. When we come back. You guys are getting to play the Gamer before anybody else. It's not even out in the market yet. It'll be out this week. What do you think?
It's pretty good.
You like it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's good.
You like the games? This guy here, he wants to play Spider-Man.
Huh? I want to play Batman.
You want to play Batman? I think there's a Batman game on it.
Wait, what?
There might be. Go in there to... I'll show you guys.
Yeah, there's a Batman and Robin.
There you go.
Oh, it's two-player? Two-player?
So there you have it. Real world feedback from kids and from some folks that have been playing it here in my game room. And they gave their thoughts and opinions on it. And as you heard, because they wanted to try the new pinball, there are some things that Games needs to work out with it. And that's to be understood. As far as it goes, they love the independent titles, and I'm kind of feeling the same way. My opinions and my views are pretty much on par with what they had to say. I think the Gamer overall performs and behaves just like it does on the LU. Some of my criticisms that I have is the fact there's only one USB port available to you. And you might say, well, no, Steve, there's one on the hockey puck-like device, which is the brain, and there's one on the Gamer. So essentially there's two. That's not necessarily true, because you're using the one on the actual Gamer to charge it. You can't put your thumb drive in there with USB devices such as extra games that you may have and play them. They have to get plugged into the main board. The main board also allows one USB drive or one port, and for that you would plug in your ROMs. Well, let's say you wanted to hook up OTG and minimize the latency. Now you have to get a USB hub, and you have all this stuff dangling off your TV. So my suggestion to Games is in the future for a game or two, maybe put 2 or 3 USB ports on that, to give users the ability to have more inputs on it. I guess that's one of my big criticisms with it. As far as the insides, I never tore it apart, and I'm not going to do that. I'm sure there's some other YouTubers that are going to tear it apart. The only way I'll tear it apart is if I decide to put some graphics on it, which that may happen, but for now, it's going to stay the way it is. Other than that, the latency, playing regular games, really didn't have any issues with it. But, again, I wanted to give you some real-world feedback on these devices. So, I really appreciate it, and make sure you subscribe, and we'll have more videos coming about the Gamer, as well as some other things coming in the future. So until next time, keep it buzzing.